The forest has always been my sanctuary. I've spent years hiking its trails, breathing in the scent of pine, and feeling the crunch of leaves under my boots. I thought I knew every secret the woods held, every rustle of the wind, every shadow cast by the ancient trees. But last month, I learned how wrong I was. It started subtly, a feeling, the kind that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. The feeling of being watched. At first, I dismissed it, an overactive imagination. Perhaps, maybe it was just a deer or a curious fox. But it persisted. Day after day, on my usual 10-mile loop, the feeling grew stronger. It wasn't menacing, not exactly. It was more shy, hesitant, like someone wanted to approach but couldn't summon the courage. I'd stop, turn around, and see nothing but the dense, silent woods staring back at me. Yet the feeling remained, a constant companion just beyond the edge of my perception. Then I started finding things, small, peculiar gifts left right in the middle of my path. The first was a perfectly woven ring of wildflowers, intricate and delicate. The next day, it was a collection of smooth, colorful river stones arranged in a spiral. Then, a single magnificent hawk feather placed carefully on a mossy log where I always stopped for water. These weren't random occurrences. They were deliberate, placed with care. Someone or something was leaving them for me. My curiosity quickly outweighed my fear. Who could be doing this? There are no other regulars on this deep trail. The gifts were too wild, too natural to be from another hiker. The mystery deepened with each passing day. I started talking to my unseen companion. I know it sounds crazy. I'd say things like, "Thank you for the beautiful flowers," or "These stones are lovely. Where did you find them?" I'd speak into the quiet woods, and in return, I'd feel that shy presence, just a little closer, a little more certain. One afternoon, I caught a glimpse. It was fleeting, a massive, dark shape, moving silently between the thickets of hemlock, far up the ridge. It was huge, way too big to be a bear, and it moved with a strange, bipedal grace. My heart hammered in my chest. Could it be the local legends, the campfire stories? Could they be real? A Bigfoot, but everything I'd ever heard about them involved blurry photos and frightening encounters. This felt different. This felt ... gentle. I decided I had to see who was leaving me these gifts. I packed a small offering of my own shiny, polished apple from my garden and headed out earlier than usual. The air was crisp, the forest draped in a soft morning mist. As I walked, I felt the familiar presence closer than ever before. I could almost hear faint, heavy footfalls mirroring my own, just out of sight. My nerves were electric, a mix of terror and exhilarating anticipation. I reached my usual resting spot and placed the apple on the log. I spoke softly, my voice barely a whisper against the morning silence. "This is for you. A gift for a gift. Please, don't be afraid. I just want to thank you." I sat down with my back to the log, my heart thumping a wild rhythm against my ribs. I closed my eyes and just listened. 4 minutes, that felt like an eternity. There was nothing but the sound of the forest waking up, a bird's song, the rustle of a squirrel. I was about to give up, thinking I'd scared him away for good. Then I heard it. A slow, heavy shuffle behind me. The sound of something immense trying its best to be quiet. It was so close. I could feel the ground vibrate slightly with each step. I didn't dare move. I could sense it hesitating right behind me. I could almost feel its breath, smelling of earth and damp leaves. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but a deeper, calmer part of me told me to stay, to trust it. Finally, I slowly, deliberately turned my head, and my world stopped. Towering over me was a creature straight out of folklore. It was easily over 8 feet tall, covered in thick, dark brown fur, with a face that was surprisingly ... human. Its eyes, deep and brown, were filled not with aggression, but with a profound, ancient sadness and a startling intelligence. It was the shyest being I had ever seen. It looked at me, then looked down at its hands, as if embarrassed. And that's when I saw it. What he was holding, cradled in his massive, gentle hands, was a tiny, frightened fawn, no bigger than a house cat. One of its legs was bent at an unnatural angle. The creature looked from the fawn to me, a pleading look in its soulful eyes. It let out a low, mournful rumble, a sound that vibrated deep in my chest. It wasn't a threat, it was a request. He had been following me, leaving me gifts, trying to build trust, all to ask for my help. I slowly reached into my pack and pulled out my first aid kit. Speaking in a calm, soothing voice, I explained what I was doing. The great creature watched my every move, still as a statue. I carefully splinted the fawn's leg, my hands shaking only slightly. The whole time, the Bigfoot made soft, cooing sounds, comforting the tiny animal. When I was done, I looked up into those deep, ancient eyes. I saw a look of immense gratitude. He gave a slow, solemn nod. Then, as silently as he had appeared, he turned and melted back into the trees, the injured fawn held securely against his chest. I sat there for a long time, the apple still sitting untouched on the log. The forest felt different now, not emptier, but fuller, full of a secret I now shared. I still hike that trail every day. I don't feel the shy presence following me anymore, but every so often I'll find a single perfect wildflower placed right in the middle of my path, and I smile. It's a reminder that the world is so much bigger and more wondrous than we can possibly imagine, and that kindness is a language we all understand. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever had an unexplainable experience in the great outdoors, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales from the wild. Stay curious, everyone.